Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Twist, the show where we recap your childhood. My name is Joe Lewis, and I'm joined this week by a man who looks more and more, increasingly, like a bird as we age. It's Anthony Bull.
Ark, Joe, how are you? I'm a bird.
People, vulture, da da da.
Yep.
You don't get it?
No.
Oh, okay, it's a song.
Is it a song by Wind Farm?
No. That's a funny joke, though. It's a song by a band called... oh, shit, why can't I remember? It's The People Vulture by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh, was it by that shitty starting band that was before Iron Maiden?
No, that's the Raven Age.
They were pretty good.
When Anthony and I went to see the Iron Maiden, Raven Age opened for them, and they were awful. They were like, everyone's favorite, high school hardcore band.
Yeah.
And that think they're all great, and they had their ripped jeans, and Anthony used words to describe them that began with F.
I referred to them as fairies prancing on the stage. One of them did prance on the stage, kind of like a fairy.
There was a lot of
and I don't
prancing.
mean like as in fairy, as in like likes to take up the butt. I mean like ones that like to fly with magic power.
You can't say stuff like that on the podcast.
All right, you can cut that out if you want.
That's going to be really hard to. This week we are talking about Bird Boy.
I'm sorry, I say that because that's what my nana used to say.
What?
Okay, so my nana used to say to me this, because I used to do drama. She's like, "Oh, you're going to be on stage as a fairy prancing around with an earring in your ear," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Which was funny because when we did we did Midsummer Night's Dream, and you played,
I was a fairy.
You played King of the Fairies, Oberon. So
it's a good role. I made that role my own.
Yeah, and you accidentally touched somebody's boob. But we're not here to talk about that.
We're not here to talk about that by accident. I was very sorry about that.
We're here to talk about Bird Boy, which is the 9th episode of Season 4 of Around the Twist. An episode where, well, let's just get straight into it. We open with a teaser, and Pete and Linda are in Tony's shed, and Bronson's in a cage, dressed in a bird costume, a yellow chicken suit, Pluck a Duck-esque.
It's exactly like Pluck a Duck.
And Pete and Linda are cooing. They're going, oh, look at him. Oh, look at him there in his little cage. Isn't he beautiful?
Isn't it adorable seeing an animal trapped in a cage?
Isn't it so great hearing him whistle those beautiful tunes? And then we see a newspaper font, Bird Boy. What do you think? Or was it more of like a newspaper cutout?
No, it was more like a CIA, FBI sort of pinup. Like they found like a, so they've labeled like it's like a memento label sort of thing. Like they print it off a Polaroid and they stick on like one of those labels that you get from a label maker.
Yep.
And then you pin it on a board and say, that's your key suspect. Right, so that's what it kind of looked like. I don't know why, because they didn't really steal anything. I guess he steals something, but it's not really stealing because...
It's paranormal files. It's something paranormal.
Oh, it's like X-Files then, yeah.
Yeah.
But not X-Files.
I guess you could kind of do that with any Round the Twist episode, really. It doesn't have to be Bird Boy. Let's get straight into the episode. The actual episode begins with a flying point of view, I think, which was a plane.
Where that shot gets reused later on.
Well, yeah, it does. And we fly in close to the lighthouse and we cut to a crane, which is very cleverly being used to rotate around to look like something is still flying. And Bronson is sniffing the ground with his detector, with his smell detector, his smell sucker. And he sucks up the smell of a massive bird poo right on the edge of a cliff. And then he slips, falls down the cliff, and lands in a gigantic nest. Now, this nest is filled with all sorts of stuff, and Bronson says, "Oh, it's a flying junk collector. All sorts of shiny stuff is in here." He doesn't say that last part. That was something that I wrote down in my notes. And then because my notes are really messy this week, I kind of mixed it up with his dialogue. So he didn't actually say anything about shiny stuff. He just was talking about a flying junk collector. So Bronson steals a necklace, a shiny necklace.
Whoa, hang on.
That's
not how that happens.
Yeah, there's a necklace. He's in a nest.
Did you say how he got in there?
Yeah, he slipped down the cliff.
It's kind of a big deal. I don't remember hearing you say, and then the best thing that happened this episode happened in the first couple of minutes. Bronson falls off a cliff, right?
He fell off a cliff. It's not a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
He fell off a cliff. He's got saved in a nest.
It's a boy. He's just standing on a cliff, and one day he just falls off it. Oh, but you know what he does find? He finds a necklace.
What are you doing? Is this South Park now? Are you doing the South Park voices? What's that?
Just leaving out the fact that he's fallen off a cliff. That's kind of a big deal. You didn't really talk about that.
It's a moderate deal.
All right, fine. He falls off a cliff to his death. and
Well, it wasn't to his death. It was to a nest.
Not that you don't know.
Or you think he died and everything beyond that is a dream?
I think he's already dead.
When do you think he died? Turtle Island. That's when you think he died.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right. When he crossed that river.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Pong River.
The Pong River. That was actually the River Styx.
Don't pay the ferryman till he gets you to the other side. I love that song.
Who's that by?
I don't know.
But is it
Styx.
by Wind Farm?
No, it's not by... It's an 80s song. It's an 80s rock song. Don't pay the ferryman. You know, don't pay the ferryman? Don't pay the ferryman.
It would make it would make a lot more sense if it was actually by Styx. But it's...
Till he gets you to the other side. It's a great song.
You know, it's a great song.
Butchered it. What?
Don't Fear the Reaper. It's a great song.
Oh, Don't Fear the Reaper. Yeah, I've listened to that song thousands of times. I used to put it on repeat when I was doing creative uni assignments, writing scripts for uni.
No wonder your scripts are so dark.
Don't Fear the Reaper. On and on and on and on for hours.
Yeah.
It was the cowbell that got me through.
You like cowbells in your music. I know that. That's all you got. I bought you Cowbells of the World for your birthday.
You did not.
No, I didn't.
Don't lie to our
I should have.
audience.
I know what I'll get you for Christmas.
When dubstep was a thing, one of our friends for my birthday once got me Dubstep No Frills Budget Edition, which is like a very much budget looking CD with 24 tracks of dubstep on it. I was like, oh, this isn't Skrillex.
Well, I don't want if it's no Skrillex.
No, that wasn't. Maybe I told that story wrong. Is that a non-story? That's not even an anecdote.
It's not really a story. It's like I got a CD for my birthday, and it turned out to be non.
I thought it was a humorous anecdote.
It turned out to be non-branded, classy dubstep. It turned out to be like No Frills dubstep.
Have you ever listened to No Frills dubstep?
Yeah, it's pretty shit.
Yeah,
but I've listened to Frills. I've listened to Frills dubstep, and it's pretty shit. So it all sounds like shit to me.
Dubstep was all the rage a while ago, isn't it? Well, let's get
we're getting sidetracked about dubstep, a genre that has not been popular for years.
Well, it's still Skrillex is still a guy.
He's still a dude. Needs a haircut. Could do with a haircut. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, well, he's kind of had a haircut. He had that bit shaved out of it on the side.
He looks like when you mop the floor, right?
Yeah.
And you got a wet mop, and it's got like that sort of like it sticks to this big
and
congealed area.
You get it stuck in between a table and a chair leg, and a bit rips off the side.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
That's exactly what Skrillex looks like.
Yeah. Sorry, Skrillex. We're good, bro.
Yeah.
Bronson steals this shiny necklace from this nest and he puts it in his pocket and he's like, oh, I like this shiny necklace. I might take this and give it to my girlfriend. Oh, wait, I don't have one because she's a ghost and she's not in this canon.
I'll just steal it anyway and pocket the profit.
Yeah, he could sell it.
I want to be rich still. That's still the narrative.
He wants to be successful, right? He doesn't want to be rich. He wants to be... Oh, he does want to be rich because he wanted to buy the bike.
He does.
Yeah.
But he's got a bike now, so...
He's got a bike.
Maybe he wants a new bike.
Bronson steals the necklace, and the bird approaches. He hears the bird approaches, and he quickly clambers up the side of the cliff. He's climbing, he's getting up. He's like, oh, I'm safe. There is no way that a being with wings could get up here at all. I'm completely safe. And then the bird lands on his head. And I'm just going to quickly cut aside to something we like to do every week. People write in.
They do.
They tell us things.
They do.
They have notes about the episodes that they've watched as well. And we call it, when we do Round the Twist, we call it Pontillo's Pontifications, named after the guy who started it all. He wrote in and he said, hey guys, can I make notes and can you read them out on the show? And we said, yeah, we're sure we can do it. We can do it and we'll call them Pontifications.
And that's what we've done. And it's made the show much better.
And he's written in and he said, this whole sequence looked like something out of a budget horror movie. And it did a little bit, didn't it? For context, for those who haven't seen it, the bird lands on Bronson's head, and it's like human-sized legs, basically, on top of his head. They're kind of grabbing him. I believe it's in the title sequence.
It is actually in the season. It's in season 4 title sequence. It's pretty much It's the opening of the season 4 title sequence.
Yeah.
And so if you might remember it if you've been following along. And I honestly thought, you get a talon on the top of your head.
Yeah.
All it takes a little bit of squeeze, and boom. That's a dead Bronson. Maybe he breaks his neck. That's terrifying.
You're wrecked.
That'd be the most terrifying thing. You'd have PTSD from that shit. Honest to God,
You'd be dead.
No one would believe you. No one would believe you that a giant bloody bird landed on your head. And nearly tried to crack your skull like it was a grape. Like it was a grape in your hand. You'd get like put on so many drugs. It's not even kidding you. Like a Fexor or whatever would be number one drug.
Why?
No, what is it? Seroquel. Seroquel's the antipsychotic.
Yeah. Bronson, he tries to run. He shakes off the bird and he runs for cover. Then he runs for the lighthouse, but can't make it to the lighthouse, so he dives inside Tony's shed. Back in the lighthouse, Linda's trying to teach Tony and Faye some primal screaming and yoga. So, two things that don't go that well together.
Yep. They're doing the arm thing, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing the OMS, which is a bit of a stand-in for yoga, meditation, chanting and meditation.
Like, she says something. The yoga instructor says something in Hindi,
like
and you're like, whatever it is.
Sanskrit.
Is Sanskrit the written language?
Well, I don't know what it's Hindi the spoken
Hindi's
language.
The spoken language. Yeah, I think so. Hindi is the language. Hindu is the person. See, we're butchering the language as it is, okay? But, to be honest, no one knows.
I know the tunes.
You know the tunes, but
I
you
don't know
really
the
know
words.
what she's saying. So you just got to go with it. So sorry if you're out there, if you know about what the... Actually, you know what? If you're a yogologist and you know exactly what gets said when people are doing that...
If you're an expert in yoga,
and
then you can write in and tell us what did happen to that monkey.
Yeah, what happened to that monkey gorilla? And what happened to that bloody yoga? Is that still out there?
Yeah.
I love yoga.
I'm sure we've told this story on the podcast before,
probably.
and we're getting to the stage where we've run out of most of our
new
stories.
things. So we've got to do new stuff.
We're going to go and do more misadventures so we can talk about them on the podcast. But we went when the floods happened in Ipswich in 2011. We were like,
we were inundated.
What are we going to do? We couldn't see the rest of our friends because we were cut off. We kind of lived near each other. So what did we do? When we went down to the local Aldi, not the Woolworths, we went down to the Aldi, and we're like, we'll have all of your Yogo, thanks. And we bought all their knockoff Yogo.
Yep,
and
all of it. The entire...
We're lining up in line with 24, 12 packs of Yogo.
Oh, it was more than that. I don't even know.
No, it was only like two.
We cleared out the entire store. No.
It was 2 or 3.
It was 2 or 3.
So it would have been, 24... 36.
And we're having a right old time.
Yeah,
good time. And the guy in front of us, he's buying a bottle of disinfectant or detergent
to clean out his house because his whole house got inundated with floodwater. And they're like, oh yeah, we got affected. He doesn't even have any shoes on. Pretty sure he didn't have a shirt. And we're standing behind him, and then we come up to the counter and we're like, yep, just gonna go and eat some Yogo. Yogo. We're not sponsored. There are other products available.
But if you want to sponsor us, I mean, I've got no problem with that because I could literally say, oh, I love Yoga Gorilla Yoga because, well, I mean, I have to eat it again, but it's pretty good.
Yogo's short for Yogurt Gorilla, right? Is that what it's short for?
No, I thought it's just short for yogurt.
But it's not yogurt. It's like
chocolate
yogurt. Custard.
It's chocolate yogurt.
No, it's not.
It's chocolate yogurt.
It doesn't taste anything. It is not yogurt.
Okay,
it's
chocolate custard that's masquerading as yogurt.
It is more in common with snack packs than it does with yogurt.
I don't know. Yoga Gorilla, I guess.
It
stands for minced up gorillas.
Would you still eat Yogo if you knew it was from minced up gorillas?
Yeah, because Yogos taste amazing.
When was the last time you had a Yogo?
Don't know, but if it tastes like minced up gorillas.
During the floods.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing as well because it wasn't like we were Yogo people. It's like probably hadn't even had a Yogo since childhood. And then we're like, you know what we should do? We should go down.
Get some Yogos.
Go down to the bloody Aldi and get some knockoff Yogos. They were all right as well, except they kind of made you sick when you had more than 3.
Yeah, well, you had nothing
we sat
else.
there. Well, we just kind of we just sat and watched the news.
I went down to your shed to work out on the bench press.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was just like, I can't fucking sit around here and watch the.
I just sat on the floor and watched the same news clips repeat and eat Yogo.
No, I just couldn't do it. I was just like, I need to do something. Like, I'm going insane.
I don't know why. Why didn't we do anything interesting like play board games or? Yeah, we could have played board games or something.
I don't know. I just fucking didn't feel like it. Didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to do it.
So we just sat on the floor and watched.
Watch the news. Should have drunk every time they said inundated.
Well, we didn't have any money.
Yeah, that's right. Well, lesson to your kids out there, make sure you have money.
We spent it all on Yogo. Okay. How do we recover from that?
We're talking about the primal screaming
primal
sessions.
screaming, which I've never really understood.
Basically, just screaming your guts out at random.
The writers are just like, oh yeah, primal screaming yoga, that's the same thing, throw that in there, oh, that'll be funny. Bronson runs into the house and he's like, I was attacked by a giant bird. And Pete's like, oh, a chick? Was it a girl? It's like, all right, Pete, stop overcompensating.
And then I wrote in my notes, this is from actually last episode, I made a comment of whether or not the rainbow shirt was actually... last episode of this episode, it was in this episode.
Who's wearing the rainbow shirt?
Linda is. So Pete, I said, Pete, take note.
Of
So,
what?
of
The fact that he's wearing a
the
rainbow
fact that she's
shirt.
wearing a rainbow flag t-shirt.
Okay.
So, I'm just saying that, you can drop the act now, Pete. We know. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay, my friend. It's gonna be okay.
And Bronson says, I was attacked by a bird. It was either a vulture or a pterodactyl. How would you go being attacked by a pterodactyl?
I'd probably go pretty poorly.
What is it? What is a pterodactyl?
Pterodactyl?
Is it like a bird that just needs to touch things all the time?
It's a terrorist that needs to touch everything. I must get that tactile response.
Okay, yeah, let's not go any further with that one. Bronson says, "I'm gonna be famous. I found this bird. I think it's a stink bird because it's extinct.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna call me Dodo Boy." And Bronson runs upstairs. And they're like, "Get out of here, Bronson. We're doing our primal screaming." And he goes up to his room. And Pontillo's got another note here, and he said, I noticed a couple of posters on Bronson's wall in his room, as well as some artificial ears, perhaps one of Tony's sculptures. I think the artificial ears must have come from the same thing that he got the nose.
Yeah, probably. For his
smell sucker.
Yeah, smell sucker. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, the smell sucker is like a pig snout.
You know, that's true.
So it's hard to say.
Well, maybe, they grow human ears on pigs.
Maybe it was actually like that was actually literally a part of one of Tony's sculptures, where it's actually big ears and
pig snout.
And pig snout could be like, I don't know, a politician. It could be a statue about a politician. He's got
Could have
big
been
ears
Gribble.
because he wants to pretend like he's listening, but it's got a pig snout because he's a pig. So it could have been Gribble, yeah.
Yeah. Or
And then
Hamish Gradley.
it could have been like this, and it could have been like, I can't really make this art. I can't release that to the public because my financier won't take it.
Have we talked about Pick Your Face on the podcast before?
No, but this is a good segue.
The children,
the one where you like pick
the children's
noses
show
and shit.
where it was literally a game show that had these giant noses stuck on this wall, and children. I can't remember, but they had different games. They had different games, but one of the main games was you had to reach inside this nose and pull out things.
Yeah, and it had like goo and shit on it.
Yeah.
It was gross. And they had to touch an eyeball to answer questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't really understand the whole point of that. I think it was teaching kids about human anatomy.
You know what was a good show?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Amazing.
Stop, Go.
Stop, go.
Oh, Go, stop, sorry.
Go, stop. Wasn't that the one where they had a big computer screen board and they...
It had like a path you had to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. And then it was just like, you had to memorize the path. And if you didn't, you
had to go back or
you had to
something.
go back, or it would send you down. And
that was a weird
you wouldn't
show.
go the most efficient route
It was
possible.
more like a puzzle game that you'd play on the computer.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, these are some of the posters that Pontillo has seen in Bronson's walls. He said, Rise and Shine, a children's book by Australian author David Legay, first published, I don't know how I got that wrong, first published in 1998. After researching this, I realised that he is also the author of a book I remember reading in primary school, Bamboozled, as the cover of the book is quite unique and memorable. Do you remember Bamboozled?
Is it the one with all the bloody animals and shit?
I don't know. I can't place Bamboozled unless it was Gumleaf, the Gumleaf Children, or what was the other one that everyone had to read? Magic Possum, the Hungry Caterpillar, or what was something else that you had to read in primary school? The Magic Pudding.
I just typed bamboozle into Google. That's not what it is.
Okay, you've got your safe search off.
Well, no, bamboozled's got what do you call them? Black minstrels eating watermelons. I'm not shitting you. I'm gonna have to save those pictures just for later. Hang on.
For later? What are you doing with those pictures?
I'll post them somewhere.
All right, calm down.
It's weird. Okay, I'm gonna find the picture book. Hang on.
All right, Mr. Green Dragon. All right, I'm going to continue while Anthony's off on his fool's errand. One of the other posters that Bronson has here is a Greenpeace poster. Pontillo says it's probably given to him by Linda. How likely do you think that Bronson is a Greenpeace supporter?
Probably not very at all. Probably got donated to him by Linda. And I just looked up Bamboozled, and it's got this chick, this little girl. She's sitting on a couch with like a dude's face and a Bill Murray's face in a picture frame.
Bill Murray's face.
Basically, a Bill Murray face with ducks, and you just have to type in Bamboozled and make sure you put it in picture book because you'll end up with something else.
Is this the one where people wore odd colours socks and stuff?
I want to say yes. Probably. I don't know. It's got weird scenes in it. It's pretty good.
Okay, I think I remember that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm thinking of Animalia or Animal.
Oh, that's different.
It's a different one. It's got animals on the front cover, which makes sense why...
Yeah, because it's called Animalia.
Yeah. So just type in Bamboozled, but make sure you don't just type that in because you'll end up with some weird pictures. Really weird pictures. Anyway, go on.
All right, Anthony's Google search history.
Yeah.
Let's go through that. I'm sure we'd find some interesting things in there.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Like how to save money on taxes and where's the nearest pie shop.
All relevant things to be searching. So Bronson's upstairs in his room and he pulls out the necklace out of his pocket and he's going to have a bit of a look at it and be like, oh, this is a pretty shiny necklace I got here. Stole from a bird boy. And then we see the bird boy out through the window circling around and then it turns towards the lighthouse and begins
straight in
to dive bomb. Thank you, Anthony. Straight in through the window, smashes the window and lands on Bronson's floor, breaking the window and its wing.
Mm-hmm.
The Twists rush up and they're like, "Oh, Bronson, what's going on here? Oh, look, it's a bloody bird here. Oh, okay, you can keep it because we're
I thought it was
activists."
I thought it was a pet, but it turns out that the bird has actually crashed into your window. So I know it needs to be healed because its wings are broken, man.
I'm gonna go and smoke another bowl, man.
You're bringing me down, man. With
this bird. So we see this bird close up for the first time, and it doesn't just look like a bird. It looks like
a human
a bird,
face bird.
Boy, man, it's got the face of a bird,
which really is creepy. Really, really creepy.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit in Ezekiel, whatever.
Ezekiel.
Was it the bird-faced angels or whatever that come descend down to see Ezekiel?
What Ezekiel are you reading?
It's Ezekiel, man. There's aliens and shit in it.
Mm.
It's like Ezekiel 17. There's like wheels within wheels, and
the wheels of fire.
Yeah, and the seraphim come down, and one of them's got like the body of a man, but the head of an eagle, and the other's head of a lion, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Okay, so they're Egyptian gods.
Well, I don't think it's Egyptian gods. It's in the Bible. I mean,
you're describing Egyptian gods?
I don't know. They're seraphims. They're bloody aliens, ancient aliens.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I find likely here? It's the Stargate aliens have come down in wearing their bird-shaped helmets. And
that could be it. That could be it.
You know, they're gods.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, this bird boy is kind of a god, if you will. Actually, just look up Round the Twist bird boy, so you know what it kind of looks like, because it doesn't look like a person, doesn't look like a bird. It kind of looks like a bad bird suit.
It's a little It's kind of one of these things that I don't know if they were intentionally trying to give children nightmares for the rest of their lives, but it probably gave quite a few people out there nightmares.
Scared the hell out of them, I imagine.
I remember there was this other show I remember very explicitly. I was somewhere, it was some sort of family, where a family has a bunch of other families over. There was like a whole bunch of people there. They were having some sort of party, and there were some people in some room watching a kid's kind of horror-y type thing. And I walked past and I was quite young. I think I was probably around 5 at this point. And I saw probably about 2 minutes, but this boy was like a half boy, half hedgehog. And it terrified me.
Would have jarred you up for life, man.
It terrified me, man. Like I probably had more nightmares over that than I did anything else. And I was really scared of mirrors.
Yeah, you were really scared of mirrors.
Yeah.
People used to show you mirrors to scare you.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
I wasn't really scared of mirrors by the time that you guys found out that I used to be scared of mirrors, so I never got to fully capitalize on that. But it's not like mirrors are scary things, right?
It's what's happening in the mirror when you're not looking at it.
It was the idea that it freaks me out a little bit sometimes, like really late at night, and it kind of looks like your reflections just move slightly differently to you have. Yeah. That's what's freaky about mirrors.
You know what's great about mirrors? You're like, who's that handsome devil there? And you're like, oh.
All right, Mr. Vanity.
That's me. Oh, of course.
Oh, dear. All right, so the Tony Twist's going to have another puff on the bong and going to let Bronson keep this bird boy. And so Bronson's going to keep it in the shed, and he's going to display it. In the morning, the bird's bandaged up in the Twist shed, and he's singing. The bird's singing this beautiful song.
Absolutely beautiful
and
song.
And then all the Twists come down to hear the magical whistling bird. And Bronson's like, I want to display it. And they're all like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And Bronson says, I want to display it, but Tony says, no. You're not going to exploit this bird. And Bronson says, no one will explode my boy bird.
Exactly. Good.
Was this supposed to be a euphemism?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Are people going to be exploding his boy bird?
Yes, with a with C4, or just a bomb. Really,
right.
I don't know what.
All right, you didn't get what I was going.
No,
for.
I get what you were going. Something to do with sex and exploding them, right?
All right, you didn't have to make it as explicit as that.
What am I supposed to say? I know what exploded means. How am I supposed to get to the point of explode as in like
all
exploding?
Right, let's just leave this now.
Coming from your body out.
You've made it weird. It was
you made it weird. You're like, I don't want him exploding my boy bird. Is that a euphemism for something? Maybe.
It's just. Is it supposed to be though?
No.
It's just a weird thing to say.
Well, because he's trying to say exploit, but then he's like,
yeah,
explode.
I know. But he
doesn't want it to blow it up. I don't know. He's a fucking weirdo kid.
My Bronson's boy bird.
This is a boy who collects rank smells. All right,
and eats Bronwiches.
He's a weird kid. All right, this is within the realm of normality for him, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. So we'll stay within the normality of this podcast and continue to talk. Pete just wants girls. He thinks that this bird's song is so beautiful that he can lure in all the girls and have great time with them.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's sex obsessed.
Yeah,
I imagine.
I guess that's what happens when you're a kid. No, a teenager.
Yeah. Were you ever this obsessed that all you could think about was girls?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's a long time ago. Probably. But not that obsessed.
I probably spent more time thinking about games, Dungeons and Dragons or something.
And then you realize you could play with girls. And then it became all the more interesting.
What do you mean? Play Dungeons and Dragons with girls?
Yeah, sure.
We never had any girls at our D&D session.
You can
What?
You can have a raiding party and raid dungeon.
All right. No, you can stop that. All right. That's enough.
That is a euphemism.
Yeah, all right. There, I got there. Thank you, Anthony.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
In town, Bronson is charging people to see the boy bird as per Bronson's boy bird special bird sanctuary. So he's going to exploit people's money, basically. They're exploiting the bird to get exploiting people. Exploitation.
Exploiting the bird, but for a good cause, so that makes it okay.
What good cause?
To build a sanctuary or some bullshit.
Yeah, but they're going to let the bird go anyway as soon as the wing's better.
Yeah, I know, but remember, they think it's okay because they're doing it for a good cause. It's okay to exploit people if it's for a good cause, don't you know?
Yeah.
If it's for the greater good, it's okay that some must die.
Isn't that Oxfam's motto?
Yeah, it is, I guess. Well, that being said, how are you supposed to get people to donate to Africa if they don't see people starving and sad children? Because most people don't care because they're selfish people.
Yeah,
they don't give a shit.
Charities like Oxfam are kind of double-edged exploitation machines. They exploit the children to be able to get all this money from rich white people, and they're exploiting the rich white people by taking all their money.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
It's necessary.
You got to get the money from somewhere to help those poor starving children, and if showing poor starving children gets you the money, well, got to get the money from somewhere.
The number of ads and the frequency of ads about like Oxfam, that kind of stuff. They pump all of their money into their campaigns around Christmas time.
Yeah,
because that's when people feel the most guilty.
Yeah, that makes sense. That literally makes tons of sense.
Jack up their campaigns big time over the Christmas period.
And you could they probably even have cases where it's like they could tie in purchases to an Oxfam donation. So.
Yeah, well, they do that a lot. Not after Christmas, right before, because after Christmas nobody has any money.
And not only that, and they've done enough giving. I've done enough giving. Can't I have time for myself these holidays?
Yeah, people are over it.
Yeah.
New Year's.
Yeah,
people just want to drink beer.
They just want to get drink, and they just want to then have to go back to work, I guess.
Yeah, they're charging people to come and hear this bird sing, and Pete's trying to impress the three girls who are now hippies this episode. They keep changing their thing. This week they're hippies, and he's telling them that he caught the bird, and they're like, oh, you caught it? You mean like capturing it from the wild. And he's like, oh, no, I mean, I caught it from falling. It was going to die. It broke its wing. We're fixing it. And they're like, oh, you're such a hero, Pete Twist. So that's a thing.
Yeah, he's just trying to pick up the chicks, and he's
all
lying
he's in
through
it
his
for.
teeth, that's all I'm saying.
The Gribble gang, they rush in and they just steal money from Bronson's hat where he's collecting all the money.
They accost him.
They accost him, yeah.
Sorry.
And they said, where'd you get the bird, Twist? And Bronson says, oh, I'm not telling you. And Rabbit says, what kind of music do you want? Do you want sharp or flat? And then he punches his hand,
yeah,
which I thought was probably the best, threatening line we've had this season at least.
Yeah, I like that line. It was good.
What music would you choose, Anthony? Sharp or flat?
I would choose Sound of Silence by who was that by? Simon Garfunkel.
Simon Garfunkel, yeah.
There you go. What would that be? What would be their answer there, huh? You can't come back on that.
It's the sound
of silence.
Great song.
It's a good song. It's a great song.
Have you ever seen The Graduate? It's a great movie as well.
I haven't seen that, no.
That song features heavily.
Yeah, it's at the end too, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's at the end.
Yeah.
But they use it a lot in Arrested Development whenever somebody's sad.
That makes sense.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. What would you choose, Joe? Sharp or flat?
Flat.
Flat?
Every day of the week.
You like to get smacked in the face?
Well, it's better than being stabbed in the face, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good point. If I had a choice between smacked in the face and being stabbed in the face, I'd rather
You can't
being smacked.
blunt somebody's eye out.
Well, you can try.
You can smack their head until until it comes open and your eye comes out. But at that point, you've got other problems. I think.
Exactly. It's more like a penetrating sound than a crushing sound.
Yeah, you have to try a lot harder to do damage with flat than sharp.
No, I'm gonna go flat. I'm gonna go flat then.
You could just kind of pop somebody's eye out.
Exactly.
Or you can just go, Nick, off comes your willy.
Exactly. That's
there's all
sharp.
sorts of dangerous things that can happen with sharp
The
objects.
only thing that can happen with blunt object is they can smack your willy with a sledgehammer until it's no more.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
But if you're getting
it's a weird place we're at right now.
If you're getting hit that hard anywhere, you got some problems, right?
Yeah, I guess.
But I guess if you're getting nicked with a knife anywhere on your body, you've got some problems as well. Like if you just have a bit of a cheeky slash on your arm.
Some people do.
You got some problems there. Well, your blood's going to come out.
I'm sure there's sure you got problems, but maybe you don't. Maybe you love just cutting yourself for God knows whatever fucking reason.
Do we have to do one of these things now where we say if you love cutting yourself, you need to seek help?
No, because you fucking should already know that. Sorry.
If you enjoy cutting yourself, then you should probably seek help. Lifeline is available.
Yeah, just Google the number. I don't know the number. Just Google. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's literally, I've just typed Lifeline into Google. It's fine. It's easy.
If you can't find that number, then you can ring 1300-65506 because they will definitely be able to help you.
Yeah, well, they'll definitely point you in the right direction. I can tell you that much.
Is government money paying for 1300-65506, which is the reading writing hotline, which has been ingrained into my memory?
Someone's got to keep it alive because it still exists. So
yeah, but is it government funded? It must be government funded.
It then? I don't know.
It must be government funded.
Sure.
Bronson says it's protected. It's protected. It's a protected species. It's endangered. And Gribble's like, "Where's the bird?" And he's like, "Oh, I got it from the cliff." And then the Gribble gang subplot ends. We don't actually see their exploits in trying to find another bird.
No, we don't. They just sort of that's it. That's over.
Yep.
Cut.
See you later. See you at the end of the episode, I guess. No, are they even ended
appear again? That's it. That's
They're
all
off
we
looking.
see.
Maybe there's a whole other episode where it's them looking for this bird.
Maybe.
They're looking for the people vulture. And Bronson, by the way, people vulture, I mentioned it at the start of the episode, but look up that video clip. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, look up people vulture. I don't know what he's talking about.
It's like they're in an enormous cardboard vulture. All of the songs on that album have great video clips. Anyway, Pete he's smung it around with the girls and he's saying, "Oh, you should come around for a bit of a private concert for the bird later. So come over and I'll give you a private concert if you know what I mean." And they're like, "Oh, we're totally going to do that because we love you, Pete Twist."
Yeah.
Big Gribble arrives and he's like, "Oh, look at this bird. Hey, look at this bird." And it bites him.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, let me exploit this bird, Bronson." And Bronson says, No, No one is allowed to exploit this bird. And he says, okay, I know lots of people. Let me help you. We'll definitely not exploit, except we will.
Exactly. I'll help you build this bird sanctuary. Wink, wink. Totally will do that. You just got to trust me.
I'll bring all of these people. So he goes away, and we cut scene back to the lighthouse. It's Bronson's room, and the knight appears. And Bronson's looking at his necklace, and the knight says, is that your necklace? And Bronson says, no. And the knight says, you're clearly upset about something. And then Bronson's like, no, you can get fucked, you fucking piece of shit. And he goes over and he tries to punch the knight in the face, and she dodges. And then Bronson's like, come here, I just want to wreck you. And he keeps swinging, and she dodges, and eventually closes the door, and then Bronson falls flat on his face.
All I gotta say is, woman or bitch or whatever, or we don't know she's a bitch, asshole. That's probably...
She didn't do anything.
That's a gender neutral thing. Oh, she did.
What did she do?
She just randomly pops into other people's property. Where's the respect for property rights?
It's crossing the line.
She comes into your room at random, all right? You know, you just break into my house. Drop the moral act, you asshole. That's fair. That's fair. That's a gender neutral term. You can call people assholes.
When you think about it like that, she's just randomly popping into somebody else's bedroom. Who knows what he could have been doing in there?
You could have been getting changed. You could have been having a cheeky wank. Because all the time, right? You don't know. You don't bust into people's bedrooms all willy-nilly like that and say, oh, what are you doing there? Oh, no, you shouldn't be doing that. What are you? What are you? The government? With your bloody trying
your bloody webcams.
There's a bloody nanny police night state is what it is.
Your bloody census.
Census bloody night state is what I'm putting down.
Oh dear.
I got a thing to say about the census, but I won't say it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Nobody likes it.
No.
It's an invasion of your privacy.
And keeping all the data on record.
Keeping your names connected.
All it takes is some hacker to get it, or the government.
14 hacks on the ABS data. Successful hacks on ABS data in the last 3 years.
If fucking hackers can hack into, the DNC...
Yeah.
And collect a whole bunch of emails.
Yeah.
You can hack into Hillary's private server as well. I've got a strong belief, right, that Australia, which is not as advanced as bloody America, unfortunately, it just isn't. I don't think our data is as safe, and it probably easily could get hacked if somebody wanted it. Why they wanted it, I don't know. But I'm not a hacker.
It's got every single person's private information on it. Why wouldn't you want that?
It'll literally have a map of all the Jews or all the Christians or all the atheists in your streets. So if you're like, I'm a psychopath, or I'm a terrorist, I want to kill some people. There you go. Or hell, I want to send these people off to a secret camp where they get killed. That's never happened in history before. And having a map to where all those people live, that wouldn't help that person out one bit.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the episode again. In the shed, Bronson and Pete are recording the bird songs because they're very beautiful, and they're recording all the songs.
Of course.
And Pete says, what should we call this song? The 9th? And Bronson says, no, this is only our 5th recording. You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Anyway, it's like a music thing. Beethoven and Mozart.
Was it Beethoven's 9th and Mozart's 5th?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I don't know, it's a musical thing anyway.
Is it about 3/4 time? Or 4/4 time? I don't even know what that is.
It's about 3/3 time.
3/3 time?
Yeah.
I don't even... people... There are people out there
musicologists.
who are musicologists, right? Who are just like, oh, this is 3/3 time. Oh, this is 4/4 time. And I'd just be like, I don't well, what? This sounds exactly the same to me. I don't know the difference.
No, I don't know either. Bronson says, let's call it Bronze Lullaby. And then Bronson and Pete get really excited about all the media possibilities and getting rich and getting famous and, being in newspapers and being on TV and having their own shows and all sorts of shenanigans like that. Inside the lighthouse, Tony and Faye are doing their oming. And Linda slams the door and she shouts.
Screaming.
She does a primal scream and she says, oh, I'm just so annoyed. I'm just so annoyed that Pete is just doing all of this stuff for the wrong reasons. Any girl in their right mind would be... no girl in their right mind would be interested in Pete Twist, which is a pretty awful thing to say about your twin.
Yeah, and also it's like, you're a bit of a moody cow lately, to be honest, Linda. This whole season she's been moody.
It's like, I don't know, she's just a spoilsport this season 3 and 4, Linda.
Like... She's got no staying power either. So like she has no other activism stuff from prior where it stayed with her. No, this is just every new episode is something new, and it's like you can't really talk. It's like, I understand that you're like, oh, this is not doing it for the wrong reasons, but you flip
At
flop
least
on
he's
your
doing it.
morality. Yeah, you flip flop on your moral code and your virtue signaling every single episode. So I'm sick of it. I'm just getting sick of his shit, to be honest. I really am.
There's hundreds of people arrive. Hundreds of people arrive for the bird boy with Gribble. And Tony says, Tony greets all the people at the lighthouse and he says, okay, the bird boy is very shy. It's got a broken wing. So come back later with less people and maybe we'll see it maybe like 2 people at a time. And Gribble says, we got to do this. And all these experts start shouting out. He's got a scientist and a birdman and all sorts of things. And one guy wants to clip his wings and another guy, lady, she wants to put him in a cage. And there's this one guy, a camera guy, is like, but we should shoot it as well, which the Twist kids interpret, and you did as well, interpreted as
that's what I did.
The bird actually being shot with a bullet.
Which
but
made no sense
they just,
to me.
They
But
just wanted to shoot it with a camera.
Yeah.
You're like, no, he's definitely holding a gun. I was like, no, who's holding a camera, Anthony?
I'm pretty sure he's holding a large rifle. I was like, I want to kill this bird and mount it onto my wall. That's what I heard, specifically.
No, it was a camera. He wanted to film it. They're not going to put advocating gun violence on.
That's right. It's the ABC.
It's the ABC.
It's post John. It's not post John Howard era. It's John Howard era. ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't have guns on TV. Can't do it.
We can have 2 mummies, but we can't have guns on TV. So the joke that never ends.
That's the joke. That is the joke. Well, yeah, it's a joke that never ends. It keeps coming back.
It's funny because it's not even that shocking. It's like,
not.
all right, get over it.
No, it's like you got more important things to do, government, like, be stable. Yo.
Budget surplus would be a good place to start.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Bronson says he's freaking out inside the shed with Pete, and he's like, "What are we gonna do? Like, we've got to set at 3." And Pete's like, "What? What about all our fame and fortune? I just want it. I just want fame and fortune so much." And so Bronson persuades him to set it 3. Set it free, not 3.
Not free.
Setting it the number 3 would be quite weird. Linda and the others mob Pete as he comes outside, and they're like, "Oh, Pete, tell us about the bird boy." And Bronson sneaks out the back with the bird.
Yeah.
He's saying, "Oh, listen, this crowd's a bit too much for the bird," and the Gribble's pressuring him, and then Pete goes, "Oh, I can stall for time. I'll play you one of the recordings we just made of the bird. It's Symphony for the Modern Hen." And Gribble is crying because it's so beautiful, such a beautiful sound.
And to be honest, it is a nice sound. It is a good song. They sound beautiful. It does sound beautiful. It's got this harmonious symphony.
It's majestic.
Symphony. Oh, it's sublime. Is the only word you could say for it. When you find out how it's made, you're like, well, all right. I guess maybe that's a commentary on well cooked food.
Okay.
We'll find out how it's made.
Bronson, are you talking about like see how the sausage is made? Is that your joke there?
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
That's what the joke is.
Oh, okay. Bronson, he's out on a cliff with the bird boy, and he's like, "See you, bird," and the bird jumps off and then begins to fly because I tricked you. I wasn't actually going to fall to my death. I could fly.
Yeah, it's
my
sort of like
wings
it
better.
falls down, and it's like, oh, I can fly because I'm a bird.
Yep.
If you didn't know,
Birds can fly.
who knew?
Bronson says, "Take care of that wing and don't talk to humans." And back at the lighthouse,
Which is
Pete.
good advice.
Yeah, it's pretty good advice. I wouldn't talk to humans if I didn't have to either. Back at the lighthouse, Pete is still stalling, and people are groaning. They're like, "Oh, I just want to see the bird. I don't want to put up with Pete Twist's garbage." And Bronson, he's looking at the nest. He's having a bit of a look at the nest, and then he goes to throw the necklace back down into the nest, but he falls into the nest and breaks his arm.
This scene was reminiscent, aside from the falling of that scene out of Titanic,
Yeah.
where the old lady drops the heart of the ocean into the ocean
Okay.
at the end. Except she doesn't fall off into the ocean. That would have been
No.
a different movie.
Or break her arm.
No, that doesn't happen either.
No. And Bronson, it begins to cry. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sad. I broke my arm." Oh. And the bird boy comes, and it's like, "Oh, burr, burr, burr," and it has a little music thing, and it tries to record Bronson, and Bronson's like, "Oh, but this is my crying. This is my crying," and the bird's like looking at him like, "That was my crying when you recorded me."
We find out this beautiful symphony of songs is actually the sound of bird tears, which is horrifying when you think about it.
So we get to the moral message of the story, which is don't kidnap animals that look like humans because they're crying.
Yes, when they
Is actually music.
Yes, exactly. And that killing an animal and eating it and making it into some beautiful filet mignon, just remember that animal is probably, I don't know, trapped in a cage somewhere. Maybe eggs. You make an omelet, but it comes from a battery hen. I could see some sort of parallel between like a poor treatment of an animal for human pleasure and from the meat industry, I guess. I mean, I'm not even having to go. I like eating meat.
The greyhound industry, perhaps. Is this a return of Paul Jennings as a soothsayer?
It could be. Could be about the greyhound industry, except I think the greyhound industry was like more that it was using live baiting or something. I don't know. I don't really follow greyhounds.
And apparently they were breeding thousands of dogs and killing most of them after they were finished.
That's really sad. I guess that is the sausage, isn't it? Although I've never really seen the appeal of any type of animal racing.
Racing?
No,
it's
seen that.
Not interesting at all.
No, sounds really unnecessarily cruel.
I don't know what forces you, or I guess guides you, to pick one animal type of racing over another type of animal racing.
I don't know.
You're like, oh,
Agency?
I really like horse racing opposed to dog racing. I just really enjoy it.
I don't know. Agency is the only thing I can see.
What do you mean?
Well, the only racing I'd enjoy is when the animal has agency to choose, which means most non-racing because, I don't really get it. I mean, a dog may be racing for fun or a rat racing down a thing. I don't know.
So you'd bet on rat racing?
Maybe. I would. I don't know. I have no interest in any type of racing because it's like you got to gamble. I don't really gamble either, so I don't really get it.
But you gamble on the stock market.
I would gamble on the stock market because that's human racing.
It's human.
And they have a lot of agency, so that's fine.
So the bird, Bronson gives the necklace back to the bird, and Bird Boy lifts him up, and Bronson is like, I'm being lifted up. And the bird boy flies him all over the coast in a scene which Pontillo said was reminiscent of the scene in Season 2, Episode 2, Copycat, in which Linda is wearing the Mongolian cat hat and flying.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like blue-screened nonsense again.
Yeah, but it's better blue screen.
It's like when you go to Movie World when you're 12.
Yeah.
And you do the... I never did it because my parents were like, we didn't spend money on that.
I didn't go to it either.
Garbage.
I don't remember going to it either.
But my cousins had one. It went for 2 minutes, and it's just them, flying over a city on a blue screen.
Oh, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, it's the shortest movie ever. It was like a joke thing that they used to do, and I was like, all right.
No thanks.
I don't have time for this. I got better things to do with my time than watch your 2 minutes Superman movie.
I gotta make video games into board games. That's what I gotta do with my time.
Make my Mortal Kombat board game.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's my sad past catching up with me. There's during this scene, all I wrote down in my book in capital letters was so much majesty, birdsong, and panpipes.
Wow. Much wow.
Birdsong, and there was panpiping. It was like watching bloody Picnic at Hanging Rock again.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, except it wasn't boring.
It wasn't directed by Peter Weir.
Yeah, it wasn't directed by Peter Weir. No, wait. Peter Weir is not the man who said that a boy has a blood disease in one of his plays.
No.
I don't know who wrote.
That's Michael Gow.
Michael Gow.
You're
on my list, Michael Gow. I swear.
Anthony's referencing a play that we had to do at school more than once. It was 2 or 3 times we had to do it.
Yeah.
Michael Gow's Away. I think it was called Away, right?
It's an Australian classic, apparently.
An Australian, yes, so we're told, an Australian classic. What was it about? A boy who had blood cancer and wanted to sleep with a girl?
Yeah, it's like, please sleep with me, I have a blood disease. It's somewhere in there. And you're like, what?
Yeah, and she refuses.
Because, as you do, I would refuse that as well. You don't know. You don't know what kind of blood disease he has.
The boy looks like this lady's son that died or something. And does he die in the end? I think he dies in the end.
And there's like a rape scene or something.
No, that's a different one.
Am I thinking of a different movie?
That's a different one. How does it feel?
How's it feel? Yeah,
I think that was called Black Rock or something.
It's too many bloody rocks here, right? Too many bloody picnics at the rocks, picnic at Hanging Rock.
Australian films and art.
Seriously, guys. Get another thing. Stop calling it a picnic at a Hanging Rock.
This isn't Captain Planet episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Exactly. Call it Picnic at Hanging Gardens or something. There you go.
Picnic at the Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
Free one on Anthony.
Yeah. So the bird returns Bronson, and then his smell sucker. Mm-hmm. And Pontillo says, The boy bird returns Bronson's smell sucker, albeit in a bit of a sorry state. It looks like the smell sucker is based on a model of vacuum cleaner and appears to be debranded. Classical ABC.
Debranded, yep.
If any listeners happen to recognise the make model of this vacuum, or maybe even own one, I'd be interested in finding out.
I know the exact model.
Do you?
Yep.
You do not.
It's a Godfrey's vacuum cleaner.
I thought you were going to say it's a Dalek.
It's got powerful sucking action. It can hold up a bowling ball.
It's not a Godfrey's. It doesn't look like a Godfrey's.
You would know. Godfrey's is your favourite store.
Godfrey's is not my favourite store. And nobody else will get that joke.
No one else will get it, no.
Are you going to explain it?
Okay, so like...
It's not worth explaining, is it?
So we were trying to explain... We were trying to find this place to eat, this Thai food place to eat in town.
Yeah.
Joe was trying to describe it to us
It's
of where it was,
place.
right?
It's
and
good.
it's like, oh, it's right near the vacuum cleaner shop. And we're like, what vacuum cleaner shop? And he didn't reference anything like, the Domino's, the church that we all know about. He goes, near the vacuum cleaner shop, near Godfrey's. And it's like, well, Joe, that must be your new favourite store then.
It's right next to the Godfrey's.
It is.
It is. It's a big Godfrey's. It's a big one.
It is. But you could have said, oh, it's near the church. It's near that old church. The one that's in town. And people would be like, oh, yeah, I know that one. But no, apparently you love Godfrey's.
It's a relevant landmark.
It is. I'll give you that. It is a relevant landmark.
What has this become? So he's got his if you know what the vacuum cleaner is, write in so we can
go
know
watch it and then let us know because I'm interested too.
It did look like a vacuum cleaner that my mum used to have when we were younger.
It does.
I don't know what brand that was.
Some sort of bag. I think I had a bag. What do you mean a bagged one?
People are fed up. Yeah, it was definitely a bag one.
Yeah.
People are fed up with Pete's rubbish and they try to force entry, but then Pete's like, oh, the bird that you all want to see, it's up there, and it's all circling around, and then we all know what's going to happen next. It's time for Nickelodeon Goopity Goop Goop time, and the bird Goopity Goop poos all over Grip.
Yep, all over Gribble Senior. He gets a nice big white paint poured on him.
Yep. We should do a counter one day of just how many times Gribble's been gooped on.
Yeah, we should, because probably a decent amount.
If we cut together a montage of that and put that on YouTube, would that be taken down?
Yeah. No, it would have the ad revenue taken by another company.
So it wouldn't be worth it?
It could be worth it. We just have to tell the rights holder ahead of time. This is what we're doing. So, we're happy for you to put ads on, I guess, but don't make it pre-rolls. I hate pre-rolls. We're not here to show pre-rolls to people, especially if you're making a joke ad. You show a pre-roll of an ad for a joke ad.
For those who don't know, we've had a couple of issues regarding copyright and re-edited around the Twist stuff in the past. So we'd like to do a whole lot more of that stuff, but unfortunately, the rights holders are a little too aggressive with their rights holding and don't believe in fair use.
I would say it's the right holders. I think that's the people actioning it because the people at the ACTF are pretty cool.
The ACTF are great people. It's not them at all. It's the people who are the
rights managers, I guess you'd call them.
Yeah, the terrible firm that they've hired to use.
Yeah. Who
are extremely aggressive.
Yes. It's the opposite of Mountain.
The Twists. The Twists laugh so heartily that Gribble has been gooped on.
Did you see the goop?
And then it freeze frames on them laughing on that somebody's been pooped on.
They've been doing a lot of freeze frames.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the show just ending on people being pooed on and other people laughing.
Maybe that's a joke at the audience because they're being pooed on right now because it was not a great episode.
In the book that I'm reading, Infinite Jest, there's one of the characters is an auteur.
Yes.
And it likes to talk about the movies that he makes. And one of the movies that he makes, hopefully I get this right, there's an audience that you're let in by Satan or something to watch people do unspeakable acts. And these people watch these people do these unspeakable, degrading acts so much until their eyes get so big that they turn into giant eyeballs. They're just like so engrossed in the entertainment. They just turn into these giant eyeballs. And then the second half of the film is an angel letting these people into this arena where if they do unspeakable acts to themselves, they get to watch a whole bunch of people turn into giant eyeballs.
That's cool.
The whole book's about entertainment and wankiness and preposterous, all that kind of stuff, and it's about audience relationships. Anyway,
it's an interesting thing for an author to to enjoy.
Anyway, that is the end of the episode.
It is.
Well, let's see what Pontillo thought about Bird Boy. He says, I felt that this episode lacked depth and substance in comparison to other Round the Twist episodes and was predictable in its plot. Harold Gribble wanting to cash in, Pete experiencing a moral dilemma, Linda adamant about protecting animals. When is she not adamant about something?
Mm-hmm.
I also felt that the story behind Bird Boy wasn't explained at all. Yeah, we didn't get any of that.
Yep.
Like, what is this magical Bird Boy? Does it just continue to live at the lighthouse?
I don't know. It just appears and then disappears.
And he says...
It's not even like a William White, Willy Wally, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, it all gets explained. This doesn't get explained.
Isn't it Nell's core role in the series to explain stuff like this? Yes. Yes, it was. And that's something that we miss entirely. If there ever was another season of Round the Twist, then
wink, wink.
Then that would be something that we'd like to see.
Wink, wink, if you're out there and you're the rights holder.
It's possible that she may not have known anything, but it would have made sense for her to at least ask to be forthcoming with some information, considering she just happened to have, last episode of Around the Twist, the rights, or whatever it was, to the pumping.
Yeah.
You know, this is her role.
She could have said
She's
something.
allowed to know things like this.
Yeah, she could have said something about how it's a particular type of bird that was first stated or thought to be a legend or a myth, or not even a myth. All these things that are real, that are make-believe... Yeah. She speaks it as truth. Like, anyone would call her fucking crazy, but because she lives in Port Noranda, okay?
Yeah.
She's not. She's the most sane person alive.
Yeah. Anyway, Pontillo says 4 out of 10, bowls of spaghetti and a cracker.
Ah, yes, because Polly wants one.
Because Polly wants one. Exactly. How would you rate this episode, Anthony?
I rated it 4 out of 10, screaming bowls of spaghetti and a Scotch egg.
Good rating. I'm going to stay with the crowd, and I'm going to give it 4 out of 10 nests of spaghetti.
Oh, okay. So it's like a nest.
Spaghetti nest.
Spaghetti nest.
Yeah, just like weave a little spaghetti nest, and you put your meatballs on top, and like eggs.
And then you're just like, geez, that took forever, and now it's cold. You eat cold spaghetti nest.
Yeah, I guess it probably would take a long time, unless you managed to somehow weave it when it was still hard.
I'm sure Heston's figured out a way.
Heston.
You never know.
Yeah. Maybe you make... you set it dry in its weaved position.
Maybe,
so
and then like you put it in a bowl in front of people.
Yeah,
they
boil it as you boil it as its shape.
Yeah, that'd be cool. There you go, Heston. You can steal that idea. Yeah,
I'm sure he wants to steal that idea from us.
He's probably not even listening to this podcast, but if he was,
Heston Blumenthal's not listening to this podcast.
You never know. If I could meet Heston Blumenthal, that'd be pretty great.
Do you like Heston Blumenthal?
I do. I like Heston. He's pretty great.
Anyway, if you like us, if you like our podcast, you can find us on social media. And what are the ways of doing that, Anthony?
You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, on Instagram and YouTube at Tales from the Twists or TFT Twists. You can join Chicken Twisties on Facebook to do Pontillo's pontifications and get behind the scenes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and give us a rating. I'm still giving away Chicken Twisties, all right? All you got to do is give us a rating on iTunes, screen cap it, and send it to us either at Tales from the Twist or via Chicken Twisties. And lastly, don't forget to go to our website at talesfromtwist.wordpress.com. That's all the links are down in the description, guys, so just have a look there.
Cool. And that brings us to the end of our podcasting for this evening. Anything you want to close out with?
No, nothing. I can't think of anything.
You've anecdoted yourself out?
I've anecdoted myself all the way out.
All right, let's go back to an old fallback. What did you have for breakfast or lunch? Your pick.
I had leftover Indian.
For lunch or breakfast?
For lunch.
Both. For lunch. Have you ever had leftover Indian for breakfast?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty great, right? Because you're like, good. Oh, yeah, yum, yum.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you have for a leftover breakfast?
For breakfast, I had toast.
Oh, toast. Oh, fancy lunch, toast, man.
For lunch, I had my $3 pizza bun that I get on the way to work. It's just easier when I need to go somewhere.
Of course.
Because I don't know where I'm going. A lot of times I don't really prepare anything because I don't know what facilities I'll have. So, yeah.
Fair enough. That's what you got to do, eh?
That's what you got to do. This is, that's it. My name's
the Tales from Twist.
Drop that mic. My name's Joe Lewis.
And I'm Anthony Bull.
Thanks very much for listening to us. Have a great week and look after yourselves and stay twisty.